Today we are taking a look at the American Pro II Jazzmaster, and if you know me, you know this is my favorite video all year. Stick around. How's it going, y'all? My name is Cooper Greenberg here at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and turn your notifications on because we've got a ton of cool stuff coming out and we'd love for you to see it. Today, as I said, we're looking at the American Pro II Jazzmaster. We just got this in today and super excited about it. We're going to compare it to the American Professional and the Ultra and just kind of see what kind of differences there are because there are a lot. First off, let's just run through this thing. This is the American Pro II in 3-tone sunburst with the tortoiseshell pickguard, and you might check it out and say it looks very classic for a Jazzmaster, and that's because it is. They brought back the rhythm circuit, which the American Professionals did not have, and that's very exciting because if you're a Jazzmaster freak, it's nice to have that, even though this one does not do the classic rhythm circuit function, which, I think the American Ultra, they put the rhythm circuit switching and it was not a rhythm circuit, but it just makes it cool to have those switching capabilities. What this does is it runs these in series. So if your switch is down, it's running these two parallel, but this is running these series when you're in the middle position, and these become your independent volumes for these two pickups, which are VMod 2 pickups. And on the previous, which I got right here, the American Professional, this is a limited edition. And before you say in the comments, yes, this is an all rosewood neck, stuff's a little bit different, but as you saw on our strap video, we did an American Professional limited edition there because that's all we have, and this is all we have for the American Professionals right now. But what a awesome guitar. So it's worth it for the comparison. So this has VMod 2 pickups. The previous American Professionals had the pure vintage 65 pickups. So there's going to be a little bit of a voicing difference there. And as I said, you can see on this one, it's just your 3-way toggle where the rhythm circuit would have been. So very cool to have that back. Very cool to just be able to get your different tonal capabilities, like what people like about a Jazzmaster. You have a ton of different tones to mess with there. Also different on the American Pro II is the push-push switch, which we've seen on the Telecaster and Stratocaster as well. And this push-push is for your bridge pickup, and it just gives you what they're calling a vintage voiced, a little more jangly, a little more trebly pickup sound. So another sound that you can mess with on this thing, which is very cool. Sounds awesome. You'll hear it in the demo. And I think, we should check out the Ultra as well because these look a lot more similar than the American Pro does, but they do have some things different on them. This does have a switch which is in the volume knob, and as you can see, there's an extra knob on here which are independent tone controls for both pickups. But if you press this switch on here, again, it sends you into series on both pickups. So both of these have the series capability. It's a fatter sound, going to be a little closer to a humbucker. And these are noiseless pickups. These are not noiseless pickups. But you get series on both of them. The rhythm circuit on this one is actually an out-of-phase switch. Again, 2 independent volume, rolling controls. But if you're in the up position on here, you're out of phase on your middle toggle switch. Both pickups out of phase. Both pickups run in series. The necks on these are different as well. This is a deep C neck on the American Professional II, and this is a modern D, so a little bit thinner, a little slimmer, a little faster. But if you've seen me on this channel before, you might have heard that I own this exact guitar, and I'm a big fan of it, and I will just be completely honest, I do prefer the deep C. It's just a little thicker. I like my guitars built like a linebacker with very, very thick neck. I dig that. This one does not have binding on the fretboard, which the Ultra does. The American Pro does not, but it's just super good feeling, super natural satin finish, rolled frets on this one like we've seen on all the other American Pro 2s and the Ultras. And this one does not have locking tuners like the Ultra does. But all in all, it's a really good balance between a classic Jazzmaster, some modern features. On all the other American Pro 2s, they do have a little carve contour on the heel, not as drastic as the Ultra, but very comfortable. So we're gonna let you hear them. I'm gonna play all three of these and just do some cool Jazzmaster tones, and you'll hear the differences. Check it out. So there you have it. There's some tone samples of these things. I'm a huge Jazzmaster fan, and so it's really nice to get to play all these. Like I said, between the Ultra and the previous American Professionals, this kind of sits right in between. You do get some really nice modern upgrades. As we've seen across the entire new line, the beveled heel did not come on the American Professionals. Some really nicely voiced, vintage modified V-Mod 2 pickups that just capture that classic tone, and on this one, the push-push with the kind of vintage, jangly, bright tone that you kind of come to expect from like a 60s Jazzmaster. This one does have an upgraded, the American Pro 2 has an upgraded tremolo, which is just like a snap-in tremolo arm, and they're kind of advertising it as something that can take a little bit more of a heavy-duty dive than just kind of your warbly Jazzmaster classic trem, and it's locking as well. So all these have the kind of the bones of Jazzmasters, but you can really look and see kind of each step that takes it to more of your professional or ultra modern appointments. But they did such a good job at keeping it kind of the classic formula that we all enjoy from a Jazzmaster. So, you know, tell us what you think, tell us what your favorite is, and if you've checked out any of the other finishes on this. They got Dark Knight, they got Mercury, and, you know, my favorite, this kind of transparent three-tone sunburst as opposed to the Ultra Burst, which I have, which looks great too, but I love to kind of see that wood grain, and just gives you a classic look. So like I said, you know, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, turn on your notifications. We got a lot of good stuff coming out on Instagram, and follow us on Twitter, all those extra channels, because, you know, we're having a really good time with all the new Fender stuff, a bunch of great Taylor stuff coming in all over our, you know, all over our store. We got a lot of good stuff going on. So hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.